Hey, what's up, guys? This is Michael from Karate Breakdown. If you guys don't know about this channel, I'm trying to bring back practical karate. I'm also the founder of Karate Culture, if you guys know me from that other channel. So today we're talking about what happened to karate, and this is a topic that's been brought up in the martial arts subreddit, and I just wanted to read through it and kind of do like a content analysis and give some of my own opinions as someone who grew up in this and currently in the karate world, and see what people are talking about. So this post just went up 2 days ago, and there's another post that went up 8 months ago. But again, it's the same thing. What the hell exactly happened as to why karate, a legitimate martial arts, became extremely watered down? And this one, what happened to karate? And if you guys knew me from my other channel, Karate Culture, I did a video called Dear Karate, what happened? And it's the same thing. I mean, for me, I grew up in a karate world where a karate black belt was respected. When you told someone you had a karate black belt, it meant something. And nowadays, it's such a watered down art. It's considered mostly like a kids after school program here in America. There are pockets of martial artists and pockets of schools that are treating it still like a legitimate martial art. But the majority of karate nowadays is a little watered down. And I'm speaking as someone in the West. And even seeing clips from the origins of karate in Okinawa, you could tell the way they spar, the way they do kata, it's so based on tournament preferences than it is on practical self-defense. So let's read through a couple of these. Let me go to the one that was posted 8 months ago. The first one was a joke, Karate Kid. Well, it's semi-joke, semi-not, right? For in the West, here with Hollywood, when karate got took over by the capitalistic machine back in the 80s, right? It was a very easy cash grab. Everyone wanted to do karate. All the kids wanted to learn. It was easy to just open up a business, claim yourself a black belt, and cash out on that wave of hype. From that point on, it was seen as a easy business model, especially for kids who are at that time, Karate Kid. Power Rangers was coming up for me in the 90s. There was a lot of karate in pop culture, and it was just easy for parents to put their kids in something like that. And then once you see that, it got like, once parents saw that maybe the training was a little harder than they thought, kids kind of faded out. And then as a result, as a way to retain the kids, the curriculum and the criteria to rank up in your belts got less and less, right? So I've seen kids' curriculums with like 20, 30 different belts, white belt with a yellow stripe in the middle, yellow with a white, yellow, camouflage belts, all these different ways to incentivize the kids to continue to come back. But as a result, it has degraded the skill set. And we have to think karate is a combative self-defense. It's a martial art. It's for self-protection. So if you're going to claim that you're going to have a black belt in it, you should know how to protect yourself. This person here, Jesse Enkamp, if you guys don't know Karate by Jesse, I'm sure you do. Okinawan karate was initially much rougher, more realistic fighting style. And that's one thing too, when Okinawan karate went to Japan from Gichin Funakoshi, his goal was to try to spread his name and his type of karate. And Japan already had grappling arts, judo, and jiu-jitsu, Japanese jiu-jitsu. Because of that, they didn't feel the need to retain that grappling aspect of karate. If you guys don't know, karate has skill set development in all ranges. So you do have long range punches and kicks. You do have elbows and knees in the clinch range. You have throws and takedowns and joint locks. And then you have strikes on a grounded opponent as well. So all these things, if you look at the history of Okinawan karate, the original karate, it has all these things in their system. That's how I've always been taught it. That's how I taught it with my previous channel, and that's what I'm trying to do here. As a little detour, if you guys haven't been to karatebreakdown.com, I'm building a vault of videos that's going to break down all the katas and all the applications for it, do solo drills and everything like that. I'm working on the vault right now, so I would say check out the website if you haven't, and see if you want to become a member. We also have a very nice, flourishing discussion board on there as well. They're talking about full contact competition too. So That's another thing. The sparring changed over the years, right? Now it's catered towards the high profile tournaments, which are more point based. It's more tag. You're actually frowned upon if you hit with too much contact. Um, of course, there's caveats like Kyokushin who try to do full contact, but then they're also, depending on the rule set, they're not striking to the head either, right? So there's limitations there. But if you think about all the different karate styles that are under the umbrella, they do encompass all the different ranges and all the different pressure testing or different ranges and different types of pressures, right? So a long range Japanese Shotokan fighter is really agile on their feet. They have great footwork. The head movement isn't as great as a boxer, but at least they can make up for that with their dynamic footwork, their ability to throw kicks and punches, ability to spin. And then once you close up the range, you do have like a close range kind of a brute fighter, like a Kyokushin guy who can take a lot of punches to the torso, who could take a lot of leg kicks. More traditional old school styles that are looking at finger locks and joint locks when they're in the clinch too. Because you want to think, originally karate is a self-defense art. You don't want to just stay in the middle zone and play tag with another person and see who's gonna knock the other person out. You want to finish the fight as quickly as possible, get out of there as quickly as possible, and negate the attack. So there are tons of different, you could call it dirty fighting, I call it survival, but there are tons of different techniques within the clinch that can finish a fight early, and that's kind of what the original karate was about. So let's keep scrolling down. Misinterpretations of kata. This one's a big one. Kata to me is a muscle memory building tool, and I've said this over and over again. So that means it's a cycle of learning that you have to put yourself through. I'm a big advocate for pressure testing. I'm a big advocate for putting time on the mat. But if you're going to teach somebody how to do a joint lock or teach somebody how to do a throw, you have better put your time in to learn those throws and all the intricacies, the timing of it, the kazushi, the off balancing, the ability to fit into your opponent to get that throw to work. You should have put in all that time on the mat before you even think about teaching it to someone else. Because what happens is it's like a game of telephone, right? So if you think in the game of telephone, the first person has all the knowledge or has the script perfectly, and then as he passes it down to the next person, the script changes a little bit. Down to the next person, the script changes a little bit. Imagine kata being passed down even within one sensei to the next student within one dojo, how it can be diluted like that. Now imagine that times 10 generations of students, 100 generations of students. You're not going to see anything like what originally was taught. But for me, kata is a muscle memory building tool in the sense like human movement doesn't change. We're all humans with two arms and two legs, and we're confined to the laws of physics, gravity, body mechanics. And because of that, all the movements that you see in kata can be used and applied practically in a modern sense if you train it as such. And that's my big thing. You have to train it as such. And since karate schools nowadays, generally speaking, don't train all the ranges, it is up to you as an instructor or a student on your own path to train, to cross-train if you need to, find people to train with within your dojo and workshop all these things. This is what I did with karate culture growing up. This is what I did doing years of judo, getting my jiu-jitsu black belts. For me, all that added to my expression of karate because karate is the original MMA. That's how I always seen it. That's how it was taught to me by my sensei. And that's how I like to teach other people. Kumite. Sparring is very important. And I would say sparring correctly in the sense like not just putting on gloves and a helmet and trying to throw haymakers at each other, but sparring with progressive resistance and sparring with different variables taken in and added in as well. Which means like you should be sparring tag at a distance. You should be sparring in the clinch range. You should be sparring just takedowns. You should be sparring just on the ground. You should be sparring with a knife in your back pocket. All these things, again, because karate is a self-defense art, you should be sparring in all the different ways that you might see in an encounter. And that brings me to another topic that I wanted to talk about. It's like karate is training for flashes of moment in an altercation, so that you are never so that you are always confident in your skill set there. So what I mean by that is not every fight it's going to stay in a long distance range. Not every fight will have a reset. Not every fight is in an MMA cage with a ref. In addition to that, not every fight ends up on the ground. But there are flashes of moment in every fight that has the potential to be in all those ranges. So as a martial artist, as a practitioner, you should be comfortable in every single range. And you should be comfortable in that before you start teaching. I say that just because that's the only way to end the cycle of this trash karate that we have right now. That's the only way to end the cycle of the watered down karate that we have, where people are making up interpretations of things and they haven't even pressure tested it themselves. So you owe it to the next generation of karate students to just be better than what was given to you. The Olympics. The Olympics is another one. I saw some posts during these 2024 Olympics about why karate wasn't in there, and I'm happy about that. Well, one thing, it doesn't allow karate to become a sport that someone can train and kind of work up to and strive for, right? So that's a negative. Whatever channel that a person needs to continue training martial arts, they should try to lean into that. So if they want to reach the Olympics, that's great. Since that's not a venue, then it might take out some small percentage of people who are training karate just for the Olympics. On the other side of that, if you're training karate just for the Olympics, you're missing 99% of what karate was for, which is just personal self-protection. So I'm not going to repeat myself there, but you guys understand what I mean. Making money in martial arts, this triggered another thing in me. It's the whole business model of the dojo, right? I think I touched upon this, but it makes sense. If you're trying to retain students as a business model, you got to make the practice as easy as possible so that they feel as accomplished as possible as frequently as possible. And unfortunately, that's kind of just the way of the West, right? It's just instant gratification, keeping up with the Joneses, black belt on your bucket list. It's all these things. You're trying to reach a destination and then you'll stop and move on to the next thing. Whereas martial arts is a lifelong pursuit. It's the pursuit of perfection, knowing that you'll never get there. And because of that, it's a hard sell for a lot of people. It's a hard sell as a businessman, right? If you guys don't know, I've had a martial arts studio, a dojo that didn't survive COVID, but it was great times for myself, great memories. I had great students, and we worked really hard trying not to put emphasis on the belt. I have a video about that too, but the idea is like you put emphasis on the camaraderie, the community, the skill set that you're learning every single day. On the flip side, if you take away the belts, you're not going to get as many students. So you got to find the balance there. I don't know how to crack that code. Capitalism. I'll move on to the next one because I am talking a lot. This one's an interesting one. Martial arts culture. Everything's cyclical. I agree with that to a point, but human history hasn't seen a martial arts subculture that is entwined with all this technology that we have now, right? And I say that because I only see jiu-jitsu getting more popular. I only see MMA getting more popular as more countries get into this globalization entertainment business. I can only see karate and traditional martial arts continue to go down. It could have been cyclical pre-internet. It could have been cyclical when the marketing engine was driven by radio and TV, but with the internet nowadays, I don't know. I really can't predict that, but in my guts, I think like the traditional martial arts, unless something has changed, it's just going to be relegated to either the after school kids program or older people trying to fulfill a young bucket list thing, or all these traditional arts become more of like the health benefit Tai Chi, Taoist Tai Chi type thing, where you are just an older person just trying to move around, getting some coordination in, working on your balance, but all the combative aspect of it, it'll just be spoken of as like, hey, this was a combative art. People back in the day used this for self-defense, but we're gonna use the same movements for health and fitness and stuff like that. And there are martial arts schools, there are karate schools right today that are doing that. So it wouldn't be surprise me if karate continues to go down that path as MMA and BJJ continues to get popular. I think that's enough ranting for me. What I'm gonna do in a future videos is actually catalog all the people I've seen on the internet that are doing practical karate and try to give that as a resource for you guys. And I think that'll be good to kind of unite all the practical karate people that are trying to hold on to the old ways of karate, trying to make karate practical again. Um, and regardless of style, I'm style agnostic. I'm about martial arts as a combative approach. I'm about karate for personal self-defense. So if anybody's interested in that, that's what I represent. So again, if you haven't checked out my website, karatebreakdown.com, I'm motivated to build up that site, build up that community, and possibly get some certifications out there and do some seminars and stuff like that. So spread this video around, like this video, and subscribe. Train hard, fight easy.